பயாலஜி இன் தமிழ் கோர்வை சேனல் சார்பாக அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பெயர் கண்ணதாசன். In this video, I am going to present the concept pollination, a composite event part 1. Composite event, it means pollination not only involves the event transferring the pollen grain from anther to stigma, but also it involves many other events such as the benefit received by the animals, insects, etc. So, and it is discussed in State Board book under the title Do You Know? And also many neat questions are asked from this area. So, please listen carefully. Before we enter into this video, if you like this video, press the like button, share this video to your friends, comment on it, subscribe our channel, press the bell icon to receive more such videos in future. And also you can join our Telegram group and also WhatsApp group, in which even the previous video you can recover and you can start listening, and in which we are posting the pictures and mind map. It will be very useful to you. And also we gave suggestions how to utilize this video. Please either save or download it and keep opening the book particular content page and recollect your teacher's teaching, and then start listening to the video. Then it will be registered in your mind properly in the long-term memory. So let us enter into the video. Pollination provides information about evolution, how the evolution took place, what is the path in which evolution took place. Even for one question I would like to ask here, whether it is anemophily came into existence first or entomophily came into existence first. If for this question the answer is anemophily, then only the entomophily came into existence. In the same way, we can understand about the ecology of the particular part of the earth. Animal learning, the animal is able to learn by pollination. Okay, suppose honeybee collects pollen grain and nectar from a particular direction. It dances in a particular way to direct other worker bees also to move in the same direction. So this is one of the example for learning. And also their foraging behavior, the way in which they search for their food, also can be understood by pollination. Flowers not only supply nectar but also provide microclimate. What for? It is one of the hiding place from the predator. It can hide themselves, and also it can lay eggs. Okay, shelter for laying the eggs. So by this association of insects and flowers, the flower get benefited by getting themselves pollinated, so that propagation of its own progeny occurs. The floral parts are well modified according to the suitability of the pollinator, so that the plant is able to attract the pollinator to accomplish the pollination. And this is the pollination network, student. You see, this is the animal side. Okay, each circle is an animal, and this is the plant side. So each animal can visit more than one plant. In the same way, each plant having more than one animal to visit for pollination. Okay, you see this star, this is the one which is having the maximum number of visitors as well as maximum plants they are visiting. Okay, so these are the interaction lines, but there are some plants and insects which are mutually coexisting, and also co-evolution took place between them. Okay, that if this is the animal, it can visit only one type of plant. In the same way, this plant can be pollinated only by this animal. Likewise, the evolution took place. So that is what here one such example we are going to discuss with respect to Yucca. Yucca is the genus in which many plant species are there under this genus. Okay, so it is pollinated by the moth. It is called as Yucca moth. Actually, this is the Yucca moth, and this is the Yucca flower inside. This moth scientific name is Tageticula eucacella. Tageticula eucacella. Okay, now this is the flower. You see Yucca flower. Okay, and this is also one of the that is New Mexico's official state flower, student. That is one of the extra point you can take note of it. Yucca genus. This is the inside the flower. This is the actually stigma. Stigma consists of a hole. You see. Okay, and these are the stamens. Stamen consists of anthers, and this is the yucca moth. There exists obligate mutualism between these two organisms. Moth Tageticula eucacella is an example for obligate mutualism. It means establishing obligate mutualism with yucca plant. Yucca moths and yucca plant have a reciprocal obligate relationship. Reciprocal obligate relationship. What is it? It means that the plants cannot make seeds without yucca moth. In the same way, the moth larvae only reach maturity, okay, if they eat developing yucca seeds. Without these yucca seeds, the larval development cannot take place. So that is the meaning of reciprocal obligate relationship. On both sides, there is a commitment. Now you see, this is the yucca flower. Yucca flower, and this is the yucca moth. The first visiting, you assume it first checks how many pheromone dots are there. It means each pheromone dots represent their previous visitor. Okay, so this moth also put its pheromone dot so that the next moth can understand how many visitors already visited. If more number of visitors visited that particular flower, then this moth lay less number of eggs. Suppose this is the first moth to visit, then it lays more number of eggs. So once it put its pheromone, it reaches the anther, collect the pollen grain and form a pollen ball and keep it in its chin here. Okay, then it reaches the ovary and put a hole here. Put a hole at the base of the ovary in which it start laying the eggs. Okay, it knows. It means it is already learned how many visitors. More visitor mean less number of eggs. Less number of visitor mean more number of eggs. Okay, but anyway, it should lay eggs in such a way that the developing larva should leave some number of seeds undisturbed so that they can produce the new that is plant. Okay, so that is the reason why it is very careful about the number of eggs they are laying in each flower. Then it goes to the stigma opening here, and it drops the pollen ball here. Okay, so the pollen grains started falling. Okay, and the pollination as well as fertilization take place, seed development take place. By the time the egg also hatches. Okay, so egg hatching, larva comes out. The larva start eating upon the seeds, developing seeds, and it leaves some seeds undisturbed. Okay, so that it can produce new yucca plant for the next generation. Okay, so this larva falls down and undergoes its pupal development, and further changes take place. Okay, so this is what happening between the yucca flower and yucca moth pollination. Okay, now let us go into our book content. The moth bores a hole in the ovary of the flower and lays eggs in it. Then it collects pollen and pushes it in the form of balls down the hollow end of the stigma. Fertilization take place and seed develops. Okay, so that is what happening. The larvae feeds on developing seeds. That is the food for the larvae. Some seeds remain unconsumed for the propagation of plant species. It is interesting that the moth cannot survive without yucca flowers, and the plants fails to reproduce sexually without the moth. It cannot reproduce sexually. Okay, so by vegetative propagation, it can perform reproduction. Okay, so we learnt about the pollination which occurs and also the obligate mutualism between yucca plant and yucca moth, student. And this is the end of this video. Thank you very much. The next video we will be discussing about more composite events in pollination in the same box. Okay, thank you.